let's dive in. So before we kick this off, let's talk a little bit about why we're even here and why this topic is so important. In essentially what this webinar is about, this whole topic is about retention, maintaining those clients that you already have, maintaining your current book of business. And one huge thing with retention and why it's important is your clients are another agent's prospects. You hear us say that all the time if you've been on our webinars, but it's so true. You have to find ways to keep those clients stuck to you because there are commercials, there's people calling, there's advertising, there's other agents in your area. They're always being marketed to, those seniors are, they're getting stuff in the mail. There's always opportunities for them to leave your services and go somewhere else, especially if their needs aren't met or if they're just not enjoying their time with you or they feel like they aren't being cared for enough, whatever the reason may be, or it's just convenient. They see a number on the screen, so they call it. Clayton will get a little bit into that a little later, but lots of those sorts of commercials and stuff that are happening now, and they're really dangerous, and those are just services that can't take care of your clients holistically. That's why they have you. So retention, clients, your clients are always another agent's prospects. Always remember that. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, we're here to make a paycheck, right? We're here to help people with their health care, but we're also trying to pay our own bills, make a living, take care of ourselves and our families. And real profit lies in retention, right? It costs so much more for you to bring on a client, for you to work those leads than it is for you to just maintain your current book of business. Year 2 commissions are always much sweeter than year 1 commissions. So always keep that in mind. Leads are going to be, if you have a process of just bringing on leads and being lead hungry, this industry, we're all very lead hungry, right? That's just how that is, and that's not a bad thing. But where it goes wrong is only being lead hungry, and then whenever you bring on those clients, they become a client, you don't work them enough. They're gonna leave, and that retention, like we said, that's where the profit truly lies. So that's why this conversation is so important and why it's important to keep those clients stuck to you, how to maintain that current book of business. So how do we keep those clients stuck to us? We're going to go over two different approaches, two different sides of retention, two different ways that agents sometimes go after this. And we're going to, at the end, talk about how if you combine these two approaches, then you have created a system to keep those clients truly stuck to you, to holistically retain your current book of business. So this one side, the first side, is going to be customer experience. What is the experience that your customers have? What are those, what are the conversations that you're having? How, a little bit on the softer side of how are you making them feel? What's their experience whenever they are working with you? And then the other side is how are you meeting their needs? How many products do they have with you? How are you keeping them stuck in that way? And Clayton will go over that part. And then at the very end, we'll talk about how, again, the goal is to mash those two sides, have both of those approaches together in order to create that truly sticky client base. So let's dive into customer experience. Now, whenever I think of a business that truly has an amazing customer experience, I think of Chick-fil-A.
Definitely.
Now, besides all of, even if you don't agree with this particular thing, stick with me. You know what I mean. Chick-fil-A. The thing about Chick-fil-A, if you read up statistics, if you just Google Chick-fil-A business model, statistics on Chick-fil-A business model, things like that, the thing that you will see is it's not their chicken, it's not their food, though it's good and it's really good quality and people do go there for that. The thing that keeps people coming back is the experience that they have whenever they eat at Chick-fil-A. And that's the reason why people keep going back. And a big part of that is a good customer experience is actually very intentional. Whenever you have that level of it's not just customer service, but the experience that they have, it's very intentional. So in the ways that they have an organized and efficient drive-through, and the way that they ask for your name and then they call you by your name, the way that they say things like my pleasure instead of you're welcome. All of those things are very intentional, and even if consciously they're not making a difference, subconsciously they are, because you keep going back through that drive-through because it's quick and easy, because they have a process. All of those things are very intentional, and they're designed and they are thought of before they are done.
For sure. And I think that's a good point, is that you don't necessarily remember the chicken, but you remember that person in the drive-through calling you Sadie.
1000%.
And handing you, like going through with the iPad, making sure your order is correct. Everything about that experience is what you remember, more so than the just greasy chicken sandwich you got, which is also delicious.
Yes, yes, exactly. Good quality products, but the thing that people really remember is the experience, the time that they have there. Now, for you as an agent, you're asking, okay, so what are examples of how I can give good customer experience? I've broken it down to 3 things. Truly what it is, personality plays a factor in this. Who are you? How can you give good customer experience? Be creative. You know your clients best. Hopefully you do. But these are the 3 things that I've broken it down into today. And this is definitely not a these things are not the only things that are exclusively on this list, like I said, but these are 3 things I've broken it down to. The very first one, and probably the most important, I would say, is get your process down. Here at Senior Marketing Specialists, we talk a lot about the 8-step selling process. Mike talks about his 7-step selling process. We know people who have 5-step, 8-step, 9-step, whatever step process it is, get it down and get it to the point where it's very natural and easy. Because whenever it becomes natural and easy for you, then that means it's going to feel very natural and easy for your clients. Getting down your process keeps you efficient. It keeps you on track as you go through your appointments. And also a big part of that is people will know what to expect whenever they step into your office. That's kind of a thing that we all experience, is we find comfort in things that we can expect, right?
Definitely.
Nobody's super comfortable in things, in situations where they don't know the outcome, they don't know what to expect, and it's especially important in scenarios when people are being very vulnerable. Healthcare might be a really, really sensitive topic to some of your clients. It might be kind of scary to talk about, especially whenever you're digging into finances, and maybe some people have really bad health, really bad family health history, whatever it may be. It's always a little bit not a super comfortable topic sometimes.
Yeah, I think finding that way to make this chaotic situation of figuring out their entire health insurance while they've been handed, here's the policy you have to take with their employer.
Yes.
You're really tailoring that down to making that chaotic experience easy and natural.
Yes.
And with that, kind of getting that process taken care of and organizing your thought process, you're really going to start figuring out, okay, where are the bumps in the road in my process? Like, where does it start to get kind of a little bouncy? And they're like, okay, this might be a little harder to dig into. And you can tailor that and kind of work with that person you're talking with, and making it more about their personal experience with you.
Yes, most definitely. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, but building that relationship, the more you build that relationship and you connect personally and customize the experiences for your customers, the more that they will trust you, because you're building that relationship, and trust always leads to sales, or typically does. So that's just another way that you can keep them stuck to you, is if they are stuck to that relationship. You have that relationship in between, and you have that bond of trust. And that's a really good point, actually, bringing up, especially your T65, or the people who are just coming off of group insurance. They are used to having an HR manager hand things to them, check a box. Being able to have a process that's quick and easy, you're explaining things, you're making it really quick, that just it's something that they're used to.
Right. So, and you don't remember your HR person's name, or typically you don't. You just remember, I had this HR person that helped me get this set up.
Yes.
Where this will be much different, and you want them to remember who you are, want them to remember that you help them figure out this confusing situation.
Right, especially because you will be taking care of them a little bit more holistically than what an HR manager could be, and that's a little bit more on your side, which we'll get to a little bit later. But as an advisor, you're taking care of them, yeah, a lot more personally and a lot more holistically. But get your process down, whatever it may be. Like you said, you might have some bumps in the roads. It might take a while to get it down, but get it down and you will see a big difference there. Now, the next thing is 7 contacts a year. If you've learned about retention, you probably hear about this. 7's kind of the magic number as far as contacts go. Some people will say it's the perfect number. Some people will say that's actually the minimum that you should be contacting your agents. Wherever you fall, 7 should be that minimum. We like to say 7 here. That number might sound maybe a little intimidating, but it's really not, especially whenever you incorporate things like newsletters.
Right.
If you do that once a quarter, that's 4 times a year. You've already knocked that out. Really special ways that you can kind of further that relationship and make them feel a little bit more taken care of as a person is handwritten cards. Send them handwritten cards on their birthdays, holidays, whatever it may be. Olivia here in our office, she likes to suggest doing kind of funky and fun holidays. So instead of doing a Christmas card or things, Christmas card, whatever it may be, because everyone gets a Christmas card, do something fun like a St. Patrick's Day card or, something a little bit different. And having those handwritten cards feels a lot more personal. I mean, think about it from your own experience. Whenever you just get just a real corporate looking happy birthday or whatever, it feels nice, but it's a lot different whenever you look in a card and someone's taken the time to actually write it.
Yeah, I think of the supplement store here in town. You go and buy something from there, you'll usually get a handwritten card thanking you for that purchase, wishing you best luck on your path to physical health or whatever you're looking at. But it's not that I just went and got a protein bar from them. They're looking at it as, I'm trying to help this guy get to his goals. I want to make sure he knows that I'm here for him and I'm encouraging him. It's just a really personal thing that's awesome that I know the supplement store here does. So pretty cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're thinking I don't have enough time, I have too many clients to do that, that's a really great thing for your admin staff to do, of course, other people in your office. And also there are, what's the word I'm looking for? Business, there's services that like handwritten, a service called Handwritten, and they have machine like robot arms write it for you so it looks handwritten, and then they send it out and it looks like it came from you, which is kind of fun. So if that's something that you find important, you really want to stick those handwritten cards, especially if you've done that and your business is growing and you just don't have the time. There's services like that. But 7 contacts, there's lots of different ways. Annual reviews count as that. And also one thing that would be fun for a good customer experience is client retention events. You can even host things like not just seminars, but have something like a barbecue, a client appreciation day. Chick-fil-A has those days where if you come in and you dress like a cow, then you get like a free meal or something like that, which is really fun. You walk into Chick-fil-A and it's packed, but it's packed full of all cows, and that's something that's fun.
That's awesome.
It's something that's fun, and people remember that, and they want to participate in it, and people feel appreciated because it's like, oh, I'm just gonna dress like a cow and get like, I don't know if it's a free sandwich or a meal, whatever, that doesn't matter. But, those are the kind of things that keep people stuck to your business, and that keep your business in front of them, keep them at the forefront of their mind. Those are all really important things. And then also Facebook, of course. Facebook actually doesn't count as one of the 7 contacts, but it is a huge part of retention because it's actually every day. It's something that keeps you in front of them every day in their normal lives. It's really, it's not an invasive way to stay in front of them. It's a way to build relationships. It's not a way to sell, but it is a way to build those relationships and connect with your clients on a little bit different level, for sure.
Yeah, I like that, of being able just to kind of scroll through Facebook and see businesses or people that maybe I haven't talked to in a while, and kind of learn about what they're doing now. I have a friend who's selling like P&C insurance now, had no clue, but I see his posts every once in a while on there. He's not trying to sell anything. He's just kind of letting people know what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good way of like, I didn't know he did that, but now I do, just because he's staying in front of his clients and I'm his potential client without even knowing I am.
Yes.
It's just like a friendly way of saying, hey, I do this.
Exactly. And it's also a great way for you to continue to give your clients information. So you can post updates on there. You can post, hey, check out this blog post because this is really important. You can post really silly stuff on there. It doesn't matter. It's just another way for people to see your name, see your face, be familiar with you. The more familiar they are with you, the more they're going to trust you. And the more trust that they have with you, the stickier they're going to be, the more sales you're going to get. That's just how it works. That's human nature. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about before I pass it over here to Clayton, and I won't hang on this a little bit too long, but a CRM.
Mm-hmm.
A CRM is both an organizational tool to help you with your process, and it's also a relationship building tool. On the organization side, it helps you keep track of what you talked about last. So that way, whenever you're going into an appointment or an annual review, you remember exactly what they talk about. You remember their concerns. You don't have to go through, you don't have to meet them all over again. You are reminded, yeah, of your last talk with them, what you talked about them, all the different contacts that you've had with them. And then also on the relationship building side, hopefully you are filling up your CRM with lots of detailed notes of every interaction that you have with them. You need to have things in there that say wife to Bob and been married for 50 years, has all those little details, 15 grandchildren, whatever. Those little details that they mention to you, write those down. So that way that's a conversation starter. It's a door opener. And it helps with that relationship. It makes you feel like they're your friend. Like you, even if you aren't remembering it, you know, it makes them feel that way. I know that Olivia always tells this story of whenever she moved to Columbia, how she started going to this hairstylist. And every time she went to this hairstylist, she would say, you know, she would basically pick up the conversation where it left off. And Olivia was really impressed by this. And she was like, wow, like, she must really like me. Like, where, you know, like she remembers all this stuff about me. It's really great. Makes the conversation really easy and not like awkward. And so she asks the lady, she's like, wow, like, you have such an incredible memory. Like, how do you do that? Do that with all your clients? And she's like, oh, after every single appointment, I go to the back and I write it down in a book. And then before each appointment, I just look through the book and I know what to talk about. I know what you like and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And that's essentially what a CRM is. You have that digital version of that notebook that's sitting in the back. You know what's important to talk about relationally, and then also as far as like their healthcare goes. It's just a really, really good tool.
So kind of my example that I thought of for this would be, think if you went to a doctor's office and had to re-explain your entire history every single time you went there.
Yes.
Not only would the appointments be grueling and takes forever to get through, but you'd also just dread going.
Mm-hmm.
So you dread having to explain everything over and over and over again to them.
Yes.
CRM would work the exact same way with your client. They tell you your family history. You kind of know what their things going on financially are. So they don't have to bring those kind of hard conversations back up every single time they come to you. You can kind of just check in, see if anything's changed, see if there's any big family emergencies, anything like that happen that you can add into those notes. But that way you have a good idea of where that client was the last time you made one of those points of contact with them.
Yes, exactly. And it also helps them keeping from feeling like just a number or just like money bags in your eyes. You know, it's like, it makes it, even if they know that this is a system that you use, like Olivia, that didn't change her mind. She was like, oh, that's a really smart idea. You know, that didn't change how it made her feel. But yeah, it just keeps them from feeling a little less of like off the conveyor belt, you know, one after another. It makes them feel like you have a relationship there, which is just going to make the experience so much better.
Yeah, like you cared enough to go in the back and write in that little book about me.
Exactly.
Like I'd be like, oh, it'd be touching.
Yes. And also keep in mind throughout this whole thing, before we switch gears here, that referrals and retention go hand in hand. So if you're retaining your clients really, really well, they're going to start telling their friends. If they have a really incredible experience, they're going to tell their friends, hey, you should go see my agent. She took care of me. She has these fun events. She really feels like your friend. She really feels like she cares. She
Yeah.
has it's really quick and easy. Those are kind of things that people want to hear, especially with something that healthcare is kind of one of those things where they just want to get over with.
Yeah.
And they hear quick and easy, really awesome process, really friendly, really felt like they cared. That's awesome material for referrals. And referrals are huge. And they also are really cheap ways to bring on leads.
Yep.
So yes. Now, the downside to only coming at it from this approach. Here's the thing. If someone has a need for beef, if someone has a need for a burger, no matter how amazing that experience is at Chick-fil-A, if their needs are not being met, they are going to go somewhere else. If they need beef, they're not going to go to the place that cannot provide beef for them. And
Right.
that is where the product line comes in meeting your needs.
Yeah, so definitely everything Sadie says is super necessary for the client retention. But like she said, you need to have the multiple products. So if your needs are they're not able to fill their needs at your office, they're going to go start hunting elsewhere. And we want to take that into consideration when we're looking at our portfolios. So my kind of side would be having the multiple products. And the way we kind of related this into a Chick-fil-A fashion would be with Apple. And Apple's products, you just think about everything that they offer to their clients. So the best way I can break it down is think about you've got your Apple iPhone, then you have your AirPods, then you've got your Apple Watch that you're wearing constantly. Everything that they have has a specific need for you, and they have everything from just the kind of day-to-day headphones to I know Sadie's got an Apple Pen that she writes on her iPad with. So just that little stylus thing, they have literally everything that you could need, but they all pair very well with that base product, which everybody's got a smartphone or everyone has that kind of cell phone need. So everything that they do pairs back with that or pairs back with their computer, whatever their base is. So how we kind of relate that back to senior insurance would be looking at what's the base insurance that client needs. So they need the Med Sup or the Med Advantage policy. That's just going to be kind of the base. And then how can we put multiple products that will stick back to that original plan that also helps complement that, helps work in conjunction with that main product? Because anybody could give them, multiple different products. Like you can definitely go just get any kind of headphones and they'll work with your iPhone. But there's that little extra bit where when you pair them specifically with the thing that you're working with, that it just has a better feel for it. The experience is better. Everything flows perfectly with those.
Well, you can get it all together,
Right.
Where you get your iPhone, you can also go ahead and just package in kind of a one-stop shop thing, all one appointment sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're looking to do is add multiple products with a client that would all work very well with that main piece of insurance. So we're not looking just to add products to say we added more products with that client or just for kicks and commissions. Obviously, like we said, that's why you guys are insurance agents. That's your job. So that is something to take in fact that, not only would you be getting the commissions on that one policy, that you'd also be getting the commissions on any kind of complementary products that you write. But you're tailoring those complementary products for their specific needs. So you're doing that through the fact finding. You're looking at their financial situation, seeing what makes sense or what additional coverages they might need.
Yes.
But at the same time, I know, if you've watched any of the webinars that I've done or talked to me on the phone at all, a lot of the conversations I have is I want to make sure no matter what product a client asks about or what need they have, you have something in your portfolio to offer them.
Yes.
Because like we said, we don't want them going to hunt for another agent who might offer that product. If you don't have cancer insurance and they go down the street to find a cancer insurance, the agent is doing the same thing you do. They might be trying to poach the other part of the insurance or start working for making that client their client. That's their new prospect that they're working with. So that's definitely something to take in mind there.
For sure. And especially whenever you're going through that fact-finding process, how do you think that agent feels, or how do you think you feel if you're going through that fact-finding process and you find out that your client has a family history of cancer, or that's something that they're worried about, and you can't come in and say, sorry, I don't have anything for you. And that's their biggest concern. They're going to go somewhere else. You know, it's
Right.
almost going to feel like, well, what was the point in like you even asking me what my concern about if you can't even take care of it? Yeah. How do you think that agent feels if their biggest concern is something that you can't handle for them? They're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. We want to minimize those opportunities by presenting the products, making sure everyone's aware that you have those products. So if it does pop into their head, they're not looking for that buzzword that they heard on TV to call that number.
Right.
They think, oh yeah, okay, Sadie's got that for me. I need to call her real quick to kind of talk with her about this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Or if, maybe their cousin got diagnosed with cancer or had a big root canal surgery they had to have, they're going to be like, okay, what would I do in that situation? Who do I need to call to figure out what I do in that situation?
Yeah.
You want that to be you, not some random phone number they see on TV or some advertisement they got in the mail.
Right.
So keeping those products in line is definitely kind of something we want to make sure you guys are doing. But kind of how this works more, I mean, we kind of touched on a little bit, but how this works with the senior insurance is it makes it a little harder for them to switch agents at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't a bad thing because you're taking such good care of them at the beginning of the appointment that they have no reason to switch agents.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing, is that it's harder to switch because they like you, they like the products, and everything works perfectly. Why would they make a switch when everything's working just fine? They have all the additional coverage that they need.
Right.
So kind of a quick imagination session we'll have here. So close your eyes. Imagine you're on your phone, scrolling through Facebook. You've been listening to music on your AirPods all day. You've been counting steps on your Apple Watch. And then all of a sudden, Android salesman at the door. Android salesman wants to come and sell you a new phone. That sale is going to be so much harder for that Android salesman because everything you have that you've been working with all day, have in your portfolio constantly, is going to not work the same. Then you have to figure out, okay, how does my Apple Watch pair with that? Yeah, it does, but it's not as good, or it doesn't fit exactly the same way. But we have a different style watch we can sell you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay, how does my music sync up to my earphones now? Is that going to be the same? Well, it does pair, but you have to go through and go to your settings, go to your Bluetooth, pick the settings, and you have to do that every single time. But
Right.
yeah, it will work.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not as easy. It's not as carefree. I have everything that works. Why would I make a switch when there's maybe one little aspect of what you're talking about, Android salesman guy,
Right.
is better than what I have right now?
Right.
If you have everything in line where every single thing works together, they all pair well, there might be a shiny object over here in the corner that is more appealing to you, but think about all the different things you'd have to switch to make that work. It's just not going to be worth your time.
Right.
People do this all the time when they go to buy a new phone or go to buy a new laptop. They're like, well, everything works already with this. I need to stick with that same brand.
Mm-hmm.
That's you. You're that brand that they want to stick with.
Right.
So definitely keep that in mind when we're looking at all the different kind of products that we're working with. About hit myself in the face with my notes, but we're good. So basically what I want to do is talk to you about how those main products work together. So think of your MA clients, those MedSup PDP clients, as the base. What's their base? That's the iPhone in this situation. So all we want to do is make it harder for a new agent, that Android salesman, to come in and take your clients, because that's his prospect, like Sadie said.
Mm-hmm.
So staying in front of them with the client or the products and the services you offer. So any kind of benefit that they would need, you've already got or you've already offered to them.
Yep.
They might not take it on the first appointment, but those 7 points of contact, you can come back and talk with them about it later.
Yep. And at least they know that you offer it.
Exactly.
So if they do want to come back later, they know that they can go to you. They don't have to wonder, I don't know if Clayton has that, so I'm going to go over here to someone else. They
sure
already
does.
know that you
Yeah.
have it. So whenever that concern comes up, they can come straight to you because they already know.
Exactly. So selling these complementary products really comes down to the why a client needs it. Because if you're selling them basically only benefits and only talking, okay, you got this, this, and this, they're really going to be like, okay, like at that time, the appointment, it might sound like a good fit for them. But when bills start to come in and maybe they have a little extra stress, nothing really stuck in their brain of why they need to keep that product. So that's going to be like the first thing they drop.
Right.
They're like, I'm not using this right now. I'm a little pinched on money. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this policy.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily fit the sticky mold that we're talking about here.
Right.
So you're selling them on the why. You're finding out through the fact finding kind of what the issue is for that client. So what's their family history telling you? What's their financial situation telling you? And then you want to find what the problem that causes. So obviously, what issues arise because of what you found out there. And then finally, you want to help find the solution or help solve the problem that creates. So rather than just selling that product to the client, you're relating it to them. And then therefore you're personalizing that benefit package so it really sticks in their mind of why they took that policy in the first place. The kind of the why. I say it a million times, and I'm probably going to say it 5 more times throughout the webinar. I'm sorry, but you got to sell the why.
Yeah.
It's a feeling with these products more so than a necessity or a need that they have to fill because the government tells them you have to have some kind of insurance.
Well, exactly. And also it can kind of feel, they know that they're coming for those core products. They already know that that's what they need. And so it could, if you don't sell that why, it can easily, especially with these ancillary products, it can easily come off as, oh, well, you're just trying to get a sale out of me.
Right.
No, there's a legitimate need, and let me tell you why. And especially if you go through that fact-finding process, that part of your process is so important because it can help you back up. Hey, I heard you say that this is something that you're worried about. I have a product to help you out with that. Being able to sell that why is going to keep it from making you sound too salesy, or you trying to be pushy and trying to just get more money out of them.
Exactly. And I don't want to scare you guys off of selling complementary products because you're like, well, I don't feel the need. I don't feel that. We could definitely help you out, kind of letting you know what we've seen, what we've had agents find that they like about these products and how they might have worked with client situations. But also when it does come down to benefit time, a lot of these products are very easy to sell off their brochure. So you don't need to memorize all the benefit amounts, everything like that. You're selling the why first, and then you're falling back on, okay, this is how this plan will actually pay out. This is how it actually works.
Yep.
Because when they start asking those questions about, okay, well, how does this work? Those are buying signs. They're telling you that, okay, that actually does sound like something I need. How does it work?
Yeah.
And then you can get into the kind of nitty gritty and going through the brochure with them. And you can lay it out right there with them, kind of show them how it works, talk to them. They're a lot more receptive at that point to listen to all the numbers when they're asking questions about it, or they understand the why.
Yeah.
So that's super important.
I want to comment really fast on selling the agents really quickly, because you kind of mentioned that, selling agents on why they should be selling ancillary. Sometimes it's specific products, sometimes it's cross-selling just in general. Some agents don't really see the need for some of these products. They don't really want to incorporate that in their process. They think that it's, some people think it's unethical to keep selling. But here's the thing. Complementary products are not just there for you to make a sale, they're to give your clients extra coverage where they need it, where they want it. Even if you don't feel like some of these products are that important, have them in your portfolio anyway. Let the client say no. Give them the option. If they think it's a waste of their money and their time, that's them. At least you offered it to them. You never, ever, ever want to be in a position where a client comes back to you and says, do you offer this? And they say, well, actually, I'll give a story. We know an agent who was in the industry for years and years and years, had a wonderful, successful business. I think this might have been a little bit earlier in their times of owning this agency, but basically, they didn't tell this client that they offer cancer insurance. You can also say, this wasn't this scenario, but think of it as you just don't offer cancer insurance in general. They have a client come back to them and they say, you said you'd always take care of me. Do you offer cancer insurance? And that agent said, yeah, actually I do. Let me get out this. Or in another scenario, maybe someone says, oh no, actually I don't. And that client says, I was just diagnosed with cancer. It's too late for that insurance. You said you'd always take care of me. Why didn't I have that option? Why didn't you let me know? that agent never made that mistake again. You never, ever, ever want to be in the position where you said you take care of your clients holistically and you, one, don't let them know that there's that option, and two, you don't even offer that option in general. It's about taking care of your client. Yes, it gives you an extra income, but it's about meeting those needs. And if you aren't doing that, then you're not being a true advisor, and they're going to go to someone else who will take care of that need. So that was a side caveat, but
No, that's amazing,
yeah.
because definitely in that situation, that client had their base needs taken care of. And if they would have paired it with something that would work perfectly with that,
Mm-hmm.
they would have been taken care of, and a lot of stress would have been taken off that agent.
Yeah.
Because it definitely something that stuck with them. And that's definitely something that's a why they need to sell those products, is
For
you as
sure.
the agent versus just the why the client needs to work with these products.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of the different clients that you guys have. I know there's a few at least that are very good friends or very close family members. You don't want that situation to happen with someone like that. And you honestly probably don't want that to happen with anyone you work with. So definitely keep that in mind. I really appreciate you sharing that story, because that's exactly what we're
Well,
talking
it
about
gets
here.
you right here.
Yeah,
You know, how
it
can you
hurts.
how can you not how can that not change your mind whenever you hear stories like that are real? That's a real experience from a really incredible agent, and he never made that mistake again.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
So let's dive into specific clients. First, we'll start off with, if I know how to change the slide. I tried. So we'll start off with the med sub clients, kind of what pairs well with that. Because that's a question I get all the time. Okay, like, yeah, I sell med subs, but what pairs best with those? Think about the med sub and the PDP as their base needs. That's their iPhone in this situation. Those are two essential products that they need for basic coverage every day.
Mm-hmm.
And your med sub clients, we've said it a million times, I'm gonna say it again, should always have a PDP with you. That's another opportunity, another agent has to come in and help them with that need. And that's something that they for sure need. It's a base need. So be offering that to your med sub clients, just kind of first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that your med sub clients should always have paired, or at least offered to them, like we said, is that dental plan.
Mm-hmm.
So a huge reason people switch off of med subs to Med Advantage, or at least start shopping plans, is because they're unhappy with the dental dental benefits that they're given.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of seniors at first don't know that that's not covered by Medicare. You explain to them that it's not covered by Medicare, and then you offer the solution. So you've identified the problem as Medicare doesn't cover this, and you had dental insurance before.
Mm-hmm.
The problem this could cause is there could be some hefty kind of bills that come into you whenever you have to go to the dentist.
Mm-hmm.
The solution being with a dental product.
Yep.
And even according to a Deft research study that I looked into with Mike Katorna, which a lot of you know, is about a quarter of the people started shopping plans because of that dental product not being offered to them or being a benefit on their med sub.
Interesting.
So they started looking around of like, okay, what are my other options? Where that client wouldn't need to shop if you offer them that dental product. And I know a lot of agents, the first pushback I get as well, I don't really see the benefit there for the client. It's kind of like a glorified coupon in some situations. But again, offering that to the client to have them tell you no. If you don't believe in it and don't see the need for the dental product, it's out there, because your clients could switch. So you're a med sub only agent, you don't offer Medicare Advantage, you don't start talking about dental products, they could start looking for a Medicare Advantage agent because they see the advertisements about that.
And also people, especially for those people coming off of your clients coming off of group insurance, people are used to having dental insurance.
Right.
So one, let them know, hey, you're not going to have this coverage anymore. And two, don't worry about it. I got you. I got you taken care of. But you got to let them know, because sometimes people just assume that they don't know. Just assume if they're coming off of group insurance that they don't know that they won't have dental anymore. Come in like a superhero that you are and offer them that dental product. But people are used to having it, so they're going to want it.
Right. And like I said, a lot of the people that switch off a med sub to a Med Advantage are because they're looking for those extra benefits. Where can I find those extra bells and whistles that go into those Medicare Advantage plans? And the complementary products like dental, cancer, final expense can all offer that similar feel that they'd get on the Medicare Advantage side. Because as we know, Medicare Advantage isn't a perfect fit for everyone, or it might not be what you're offering. But you want to make sure that you're talking to your clients and building them that ultimate benefit package So they're not looking for extra benefits. They want to know what pertains to them. They want to know different benefits that will work best for them, and you're building that package that works best for them. So a couple other products that kind of work best with the Medicare supplement and kind of help that client stick to you a little bit more would be the kind of ones that we see written by the top agents would be some cancer plans, home health care, and final expense. They all pair very well with your MedSup clients, and it's also a very similar clientele that would take one of those cancer products that's willing to spend the extra premium to have that coverage. Because a MedSup client wants to pay a certain amount of money and not have to worry about anything else. So throw that same situation out to them with a home health care plan. They want to pay a certain amount of money so they know if they have to go home and recover from the hospital at home, that they're taken care of. It's a very similar client base. It's a very well planned, put together plan that pairs well with those MedSups.
Yes.
So kind of one thing I wanted to kind of highlight with you guys is if you've heard me talk, I know you've heard me at least mention cancer insurance a handful of times, one I'm very passionate about. But like we talked about with the issue, the problem, and the solution, let's break it down for cancer insurance. So when you're offering that plan, you heard, okay, Sadie's family, there is some cancer issues, with maybe her grandma or her mom's had some cancer issues. So you want to bring up, okay, you also highlighted that this is a need, and I know it's the #1 cause of medical bankruptcy. So the problem is here that Medicare won't pay for like the travel or the lodging or the benefits or for the meal benefits that you might need for when you're taking that time and traveling.
Right. Hotel stays, your loved ones that are having to be there with you, taking time off of work,
Right.
People to take care of your home, to take care of your pets, babysitters, the list goes on.
So just hearing kind of that big list makes me uncomfortable. Like, okay, so yeah, I could go bankrupt. I could have a lot of extra things I was supposed to pay for. What's the solution here? Because you just made me very anxious.
Right.
Obviously, we're not trying to sell on fear, but you want to make them a little uncomfortable. Like, what's your current situation? What would you do in this situation? Because you've highlighted that this is a potential problem for you. Obviously, the solution here would be a cancer insurance policy, and that lump sum payment could go towards all those different things. So you're listening to their needs, you're finding the problem there and letting them know, okay, well, this is why that's an issue, and then you're offering up a solution.
Right.
And again, if you don't have those products, you just highlighted a lot of issues and then have nothing to solve the problem. What's that client going to do?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
going to start picking up the phone, try to find somebody.
And with cancer insurance, I do just want to add really here on a side note. Some people are a little afraid because it does feel like whenever you're selling cancer, you are selling based on fear. You're making them scared, so you're having them buy a benefit. That's not how it is. The facts, I mean, it is what you make it. So if you're trying to sell on fear, then you're selling on fear. If you're educating them, I mean, the facts of cancer are already scary enough. You don't have to try to scare them. They will see the need whenever you educate them. That's why educating is so important. It's like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 people get cancer, something really terrifying like that. We all know, we all have a cancer story. So I just wanted to note that there. That's one kind of pushback to some ancillary products, especially cancer. Just educate them. You're only selling on fear if you are selling on fear. It's all about how you go about it.
Right. Highlighting the situation and the problems that it causes is different than saying you, myself, or this person here are getting cancer. What are you going to do if you get that?
Right.
Very different feelings from, okay, like, let's talk about your situation. Much different feelings. So like Sadie said, it's what you guys make of it.
Yes.
But next we want to kind of go into the Medicare Advantage clients and what pairs well with those, why it's important to cross-sell those. It's very, very important to cross-sell those Medicare Advantage clients. They're getting hit hard constantly with advertisements. They're getting mailers, they're getting phone calls. They see Joe Namath's face on the TV every 2 seconds. So you might love him, you might hate him. Most of our agents we talk to are not big fans of seeing him advertising Medicare constantly. But the fact is he's out there and he's advertising. So the clients hear what he's advertising. They're like, okay, there's buzzwords. It's obviously a marketing plan. They're trying to trigger the clients into being like, wait, what do I do for that? And mainly, what are they advertising? They're advertising dental and medical benefits. The benefits part are probably already benefits that are attached with the Medicare Advantage plan that you set them up with originally, but maybe they just kind of forgot, like, oh yeah, there is an over-the-counter benefit, or oh yeah, there is like a meal plan based in this. But if they keep highlighting those things and throwing those buzzwords out there, people are going to get intrigued. So that's why you want to make sure you're going over all the benefits, all the kind of different things that plan can do for them, and what else you offer that could kind of fit those same needs. A lot of people, just those buzzwords are big. The, oh, medical benefit review, free, dental, food.
Yeah.
So definitely something that they're doing on purpose. We want to make sure that you guys are offering the products that could kind of fit those same needs, so they don't have any reason to call that number because they've heard those same words from you.
Right.
And that's something that will endear that client to you a little bit more from having your best interest or the client's best interest in front of them. So you want to let them know that you have those products. You want to let them know too before it becomes that problem of them calling. You never want the client to pick up the phone hunting for some other benefit because they need to be coming to you. Kind of the message of the whole thing I've been talking about for however long now, but you want you to be the go-to person.
Yes.
And MA plans, like they might bring in a little bit more attention because of that $0 premium. They might just be a healthier client. Whatever reason they chose that path, they chose it for a reason.
Yep.
So we want to look at what is the other problems that a Medicare Advantage policy has. Where are the other holes there? A big one would be with the hospital stays and that kind of out-of-pocket costs that go along with the Medicare Advantage policy. Now they might see that number on there, but not think twice about it because they've seen that deductible for years. They've seen the max out of pocket, but have never hit that. So you're selling them on the why this is an issue. So must have for these MA plans would definitely be that hospital indemnity plan for that exact reason. There's a huge need to fill that gap of what's this causing? What else can we help take care of you? So if any situation comes up and you have to stay in the hospital for 3, 6, 10 days, you've got something to help pay for those bills that you don't have to worry about.
Right.
Now, a lot of pushback we get on the hospital indemnity plans would be, well, there's a premium attached to it. A lot of these clients are picking it up because it's a $0 premium. And those are the exact clients that need to hear this. They need to hear that they might, if they have to stay in the hospital, spend $3,000 to $6,000. And, you know, where would you get that money from? Or are you comfortable cutting the hospital a check for $3,000 if you had to go to the hospital? Most people, I know myself, I'd be like, I don't know what I would do.
Right.
I'd be struggling for a while, opposed to paying, you know, that cheaper premium, that $30 to $50 range, somewhere in there, to have a very large benefit taken care of. So if they did go to the hospital, they're getting paid that money out and don't have to worry about that part. And it's a small premium, but this is a huge hole that's on the Medicare Advantage policies, which is why I say this is one that you need to be offering to every single Medicare Advantage client you have.
Every single one. We're working with the senior demographic, people.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna stay the night in a hospital at some point. That's not even being pessimistic. That's just like how life works.
Yeah.
They're most likely going to use this benefit. And even if they don't, I don't think that it's unfair to say, we should have this in place, like just in case. You know what I mean? Every single Medicare Advantage client, you should be cross-selling hospital indemnity.
Yep. And you're bringing up that conversation. So when they do go to the hospital, they're not thinking, well, how did I not know this is a thing?
Yes.
Like, how am I having to pay all this money all of a sudden?
Right.
Because you guys had that conversation. They know what risks are out there. And if they're comfortable taking that risk, okay. Well, you had the conversation, you offered that product to them. And it's just another value that you can offer to the client as far as education goes. Now, this is a very sticky product because it is something that goes along with their basic needs. They're looking at, okay, how can I help this client out every single day with this policy? That's kind of the first thing that goes along with those. But after you're adding that HIP plan to those Medicare Advantage clients, what's the next kind of benefit package you can help them build?
Really quickly, can I ask this question?
Yeah.
Because this is kind of cool. Terry is asking, in California, doesn't have hospital indemnity. Any other possibility? And she also says, years ago, my dad was selling cars. Man in farmer's outfit asked about the car. Dad said, go to the other guy, and customer bought 2 cars cash, and my dad didn't assume anymore. That is an excellent point. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. That's another reason why the fact-finding process is so important, that getting to know those people, you don't want to assume, you want to get to know your clients, that way you can fill their needs. We hear stories like that all the time, all the time. You never know. But the hospital indemnity alternative.
So some areas, there's just not a hospital indemnity option out there. I think California and New York are the two that come to mind that are very, very picky with their Department of Insurance. Sometimes there's options for home healthcare riders that have like a hospital indemnity style benefit on there.
Yes.
I'd have to look specifically. I'm not 100% sure it's available in California. Sometimes I think we're just out of luck on that side, but that's why we want to look at other sticky products that we might be able to add with that client. So you're still explaining that risk with the Medicare Advantage, but that's kind of what they're picking. So how else can we help keep that client stuck to us?
Yes, and then there's one more question that I want to address. Someone asked, are cancer and home healthcare individual plans? I think that's referring back to the last slide. This is a little confusing how I have it on here, cancer and home healthcare. It should be cancer, healthcare. Kind of same here. Yes, they're individual plans. Now, like he said, on certain ancillary products, you can add riders. So I think it's like home healthcare. I could be wrong on this. You're a product expert, but like home healthcare has little bit better, is it cancer riders? They have, different products have different riders that you can tack on as well, so they can kind of work together without having to have those 2 full benefits. But yes, they're individual plans.
Yeah, definitely. And we can get into that on more of like a specific level for your state of what riders are available, what product lines are available. Like we said, in California, New York, hospital indemnity isn't a thing. So we can definitely dive into that a little bit. But what we want to look at here is those other products for the Medicare Advantage
Finally,
clients.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
I kept interrupting you.
So since the Medicare Advantage does have those extra bells and whistles, really I want to look at like 2 main complementary products. And again, I'm sorry, but cancer insurance applies again, because the need's out there. It's definitely something you want to bring up. And final expense is one we see written a lot with Medicare Advantage. Maybe that client is that low income person who took a Medicare Advantage for the $0 premium, but a lot of our clients are getting up there in age or starting to think about, okay, what happens when I pass? So you want to talk to them about the why, because both these products are very feeling based. The line by line brochure items, like we said, you can kind of go over that stuff afterwards, but expressing, okay, this is how this product can affect your life. And this is how a final expense plan could help your family from having that argument of who's going to have to pay for the burial, who's going to have to pay for the funeral costs. And this is how we can get that taken care of with a lower premium option. That might be a little bit more intriguing to even like the dual special needs clients.
Yeah.
Because there's something where they want to be able to take care of that money because they know their family can't. And it's a very feeling-based product that's taking care of the family of the client versus taking care of the actual client. And they might feel the same way about a cancer policy. Like, okay, if I get cancer, I'm 84 years old, like, that could be my time, which is a sad, true case. But at the same time, that lump sum then can be given to a beneficiary. They can use that money to go on that one final trip that they all wanted to do something nice for them. However they want to spend the money, it's out there. So you want to give them the extra benefits and the extra coverage that's attached with the Medicare Advantage policy, because they are getting a lot of extra stuff like a dental allowance or over-the-counter benefits. So you're really making it personal of what else they could need. And you want to look at a few different things with all of the products we've talked about today of offering a this or that option. I've said it a million times. I've heard my associate, Matt McVeigh, who a lot of you have probably already talked to as well. But we always talk about the success ratios with this or that option versus a yes or no. So if I came to Sadie and said, hey, Sadie, do you want a dental plan? And I just left it at that, she could be like, no, I don't really need that. You explain the why. You say, okay, so here's the solution that this dental plan would bring to you. I have a couple plans in mind that would work best for you, I think, that would pair very well with your product. Would you like this one or this one? And then that's when you guys can go through the benefits together.
Yep.
Because they've started asking the questions. They've really started to show those buying signs. And then you're showing them two options where instead of saying yes or no, just based on money or based on any situation, they can see what's going to work best for them.
Yeah.
So maybe you do have that top of the dollar Cadillac of dental plans, or you have the basic coverage that will get them the preventative work they need, kind of cover them at a low dollar. But that way, either way, they're covered at the end of the day. And that's another product that causes them to be stuck with you a little bit more. And they feel that they're getting really taken care of.
Yep. Or that classic good, better, best sort of thing. You give them 3 different levels if the product allows you for that, but give them those 3 different options. This is good, this is a little better, this is the best thing. However it may be, giving them options that they can choose what they feel they need.
Yeah, and so that goes perfectly with kind of what I want to talk about next is, okay, you've told me about a lot of products, but who do I write on this? And on a super generic level, without knowing what state or what person asked me this question, because like we said with California, New York, certain products are not available there. Just kind of super generically, I'd like to say GTL, we love for their hospital indemnity plan. They do offer that good, better, and best options. So like we found with clients, not really wanting to take that low base level, but maybe they don't want to spend the top dollar amount on the best package. So they want to go with that middle of the road option. Or they saw the need, but their financial situation says, I can't really afford this one, but this gets me a base coverage for that need. I'll go ahead and take that low option. So definitely something to keep in mind. GTL also has a great home health care and cancer plan built into that same contract. Aetna and Mutual of Omaha are names we've all heard, big brand names out there, but they have a full suite of complementary products. So depending on the availability of the state, you could have a cancer, dental. Aetna's even got a hospital indemnity plan on their contract as well. And this is one that I know a lot of you guys probably have already out there, but maybe haven't used. And this client retention is something you want to work with a little bit more. We can help train you guys on how to offer these products more.
Yeah.
So if you haven't written in a while, you can talk to me, talk to one of my members on the outreach team. We can go over how we can transfer that product over here before AEP, help get you trained up so you're ready to sell these products going in.
Definitely.
And the last name I want to bring up is a name I know a lot of us around here know and love with Medico. So they offer a lot of different complementary products. I almost said ancillary, but they kind of gives a different feel with offering a product that goes very well with another product. So Medico has a very strong med sup, and they have a new dental plan as well. Those two pair very well together, and what a lot of these companies are doing is making the EAP process very easy to add additional products, or offering some kind of incentive for the client to take that dental product with Medico as well. That's where you see a lot of the household discounts kick in. So when you're looking at pairing up with their kind of original insurance plan, look at those household discounts, talk about those needs, see how you can save them additional money by adding another product like that.
Yeah.
But that's, like I said, super generic. I'd be happy to go into that with you. Either myself or someone on my outreach team out there in Cubeland will give you a call after the webinar. We can kind of dive into your specific needs, answer any questions you guys have. But I kind of wanted to throw out a few things out there that I know.
Yes, for sure. Alrighty. Okay. So now that you have heard the two sides of really incredible customer experience, let's talk just a little bit about, because you guys get the point, what it looks like whenever you put both of those things together. In the example that comes to mind, love them or hate them, who has a really sticky client base? That's Amazon. And it's because they have those two different things to put together. They have a really awesome customer experience. Again, love them or hate them, they make it really easy to say yes.
Yeah.
Whenever you need something, what is the first place you go and look at?
If I'm ordering something that I need to be shipped either to myself or to somebody else, I'm going with Amazon every single time. Either somebody you know or you have the Amazon Prime account.
Yep.
and you're looking at, okay, how quickly can I get that here? Because if you go on maybe another website, it'd be like, it takes like 2 weeks to ship and it
Right.
costs money to ship. Like, no, you're going to start at Amazon where you know you get that free shipping. Most of the time it's delivered in 2 days.
Yep.
Like, that's a very easy experience.
Yep. And you also know whenever you go to Amazon, they're going to have, you already know they're going to offer you a lot of options of anything that you need.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you need things, even if they're not quite completely even related, I need toothpaste, but I also need a new throw pillow. I need, you know all of your needs will be met there. So that's
Right.
the first place that you go to, and that you look at. And also it's a really incredible experience whenever you can get 2-day shipping.
Yep.
That's better than the others. Well, right now with COVID, it's taking a little bit longer. I have a little bit of beef with that, but that's beside the point. And then also they have little things that are intentional about the
Yep.
experience, like add to cart or buy it now. That's a really dangerous button.
Yep.
You know, they make it easy to say yes. You pop up the app and it has different things that are suggested for you based on what you've already seen, or what you've already looked at, or purchase again. Really awesome experience. You can return it not through just the mail anymore. You can go to Kohl's.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier. It's like now we're just like getting off the point. It's like Amazon. No, like, you guys get the point. These are two people that are stuck to their client base. Also, on top of that, you have Prime, you have Audible, you have Kindle, you have Prime Video, you have Prime Music. You can get everything that you need all in one place. And if
Yep.
you have everything there, if you have all of those different things, you have all your ebooks, you have your music, you have your videos, why would you go somewhere else to get those things whenever you can get it all together in one package with one Prime account?
Yep. Don't have to remember multiple logins. You've got everything in one place. It goes back to exactly what we've been talking about for a while there, of having all the products at least offered to your clients.
Yes.
I don't always go to Amazon Prime first. I might go to Netflix, but I've got that in my like portfolio where that's kind of a thing that I know, okay, maybe it's not offered here. I can go check Amazon Prime. So like I've got those options built in where I know they've been offered to me and I know where to look for them.
Yes, exactly. So we won't harp on this too much. You all understand, you get the point. This is just Amazon's just a really easy example for you guys to relate that to, but it has those two sides and it creates an incredibly loyal client base, which is the goal. So to wrap it up, basically what we just said, I should have just changed the slide. To wrap this up, a really great customer experience, the feels, and then those needs that are met, those multiple product lines, all of it, one-stop shop, you can get everything there, all of your needs met. That is going to create your sticky client base. It'll make it really hard for them to say no, or it'll make it really hard for them to call that number or go somewhere else this AEP if you have incorporated both of these things into how you sell to your clients.
Yep. Kind of relieve that worry that you might have of another agent knocking on the door and making it much harder for that agent to come in and take that client from you.
Yes.
Kind of the main purpose that we want to make sure is that you guys are keeping your clients that you've worked so hard for, built that trust, built that loyalty, and worked your butt off to keep that client. We want to make sure you're doing that. Offering both sides of this is definitely going to be the way to go.
Yes, exactly. It's worth their time and also worth your time to maintain that book of business. So that's a great point.
That's it.
Alrighty, question time. We already have a lot of comments on here, which is really exciting. We love that interaction. So if you have any questions, ask it. Don't be afraid. We're going to refer to you by your first name. Unless you want to remain anonymous, then let us know that. But we're all friends here. So we're going to refer to you by your first name. Okay, let's see. This is not a question, but the client does not start to pay for hospital costs until the 21st day once they reach the max out of pocket. There is no more cost for medical needs for that year. This is for California. You need to check each plan you sell. Only if you have original Medicare do you run the risk of being in debt for healthcare. There's no limit to your max out of pocket and plans limit that. Interesting. That's an interesting point.
Yeah. So a lot of times with the kind of in-depth state issues that come up with like either, okay, well, what happens with the client if they've had this policy for a while or this product's not available? I lean so hard on my agent resources team every day to really dive into a lot of those questions for you guys.
Yeah.
So if you work with us, great, we can have those conversations. Or if those are questions that you're upline that you're not able to answer for you, or you don't have that direct person that you can call, give us a call. Let's see how we can help you out with those kind of things. And I will be so quick to tell you, I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me grab a teammate over here that's an expert on that side. So
1000%.
do it all the time. I'd be happy to get you to the right person that you need to talk to about that. And we'll get you an answer in writing like always. And we can reach out to the carrier for you to kind of get more clarification if it's kind of a gray area or unsure situation.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for that. Let's see, great info, and I especially like the how and when to recommend. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys took a lot out of this. I know that we were really, really excited for this webinar.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely saw the need for it. It's something that's a good reminder for even us to hear about, and so that way we can go to the agents and talk to you all about this. But yeah, thank you so much for that. Great job, guys. Nicely done. Well worth our time. Reminds us of why we love SMS. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. No. We appreciate each and every partnership that we have with you guys. This is our job. This is what we love to help you all. This is what we're here for. Never, ever, ever hesitate to call in and ask us questions. Talk to us on that live chat. Send us an email, which, by the way, we have the SMS-University if you ever have any questions about any webinars or anything like that going on. But always please call us. There's no stupid questions. Promise, there's no stupid questions. We help everyone from every level of every size. We're happy to help. But yeah, thank you so much for that love. If you have any more questions, put them in there. Put them in that questionnaire box. But like we said, we have that follow-up email coming out.
Right.
We have a lot of resources actually
Definitely.
that we're going to be putting in this follow-up email. So you definitely want to watch that. If you had to pop off or you came in early, came in a little bit late, totally fine. This is all being recorded. Speaking of which, I'm going to stop that recording. Bye, recording people.